YouTube. No intro on this one. This is just kind of a quick one, I guess. Maybe not. I've seen a few vloggers out there talking about dealerships and buying motorcycles, and I've had questions from people I know locally about dealerships and where they should go and that kind of thing. And dealerships, especially in the recent past, have morphed quite considerably from when I started riding. And what I'm used to, what I grew up with, my dad dealt with, and my first few motorcycles came from a locally owned dealership. They may have had one brand or two or three brands. There was none of these mega dealerships around, and more likely than not, you would have, if you purchased a motorcycle, at some point you would have spoken to the owner of that establishment. You at least were a handshake or the exchange of money and title and that kind of thing. If you brought two motorcycles, well, let me back up a little bit. The salesman you dealt with was a salesman that made you the deal. Unless you were cutting real deep, there was no real reason to go into the back office and slide you a piece of paper. And if you bought more than one motorcycle, you were most likely going to deal directly with the owner of that establishment. And if you bought more than two, he was probably your best friend. And the service guys were the service guys there and worked for the establishment. There wasn't a subcontractor kind of thing there is in some places where they work there, but they don't work directly for the dealership, whatever. But those guys were there for 10, 15 years or more, and you could trust once you developed the trust and stuff like that. You felt comfortable with the place, you'd stop in, the guy would be kind of your quasi friend, and you could speak with him, just about shooting the breeze. And that's not around anymore. They've traded customer relationship for customer service, and I mean customer service in the biblical way. You're definitely getting the service when you go to some of these mega dealerships, and these mega dealerships are really owned by, many of them are owned by large car dealership conglomerates, at least here in the States. And I haven't been finding that it's a very pleasant experience. I've found it from awful to mildly distasteful, and it's gotten to the point where you could negotiate the price of a bike out the door with no hidden fees or costs or anything like that, to you've got to watch every page that goes by you for an additional fee for this, an additional fee for that. And it's really become a non-trustful relationship. And the salesman that you go in there to see, he's only going to be there for about 6 months. The service writer that you go in to see, if he lasts 1 to 2 years, you're lucky. And like I said, it's gone from customer relationship to customer service, and everything's just a big old sales pitch. So I can't say that buying a new motorcycle is all that fun or happy an experience. If you haven't purchased a brand new motorcycle, maybe you've purchased a brand new car or a used car from a new car dealership, And it's kind of that same experience. And you know, there's 5 people you got to deal with. It's an all-day job, and you know, they try to sell you five dozen add-on sales things. So it's kind of sad, and I feel bad for the passing away, if you will, of the mom and pop style locally owned dealership. And I'm not uncertain that the manufacturers didn't have a little something to do with that. And some of it is also the amount of people that have come into, enveloped, have a passing fancy with the sport, and don't really care to deal. They go in like Walmart. How much is your, you know, Africa Twin? Well, my Africa Twin is $15,672 out the door, plus fees. And people say, okay, what do I, you know, what kind of check do you want? How much shall I pay you, sir? And that's unfortunate. The fees and negotiations, doc fees, all that kind of stuff, markups are not negotiable. So it's almost, I mean, I wouldn't call it price fixing, but it's pretty close to that if you want to buy a new bike. Anyway, that's my little, not really rant, but thought process on the whole thing. No sense in worrying about it because it ain't going to go backwards. I appreciate you watching. Please comment, subscribe, like, and share. Adios.